In the middle of America, the North American Air Defense Command looks for trouble around the clock. If they find it, they'll tell the president. But if they're wrong, they'll be making the biggest mistake in history. On November 9th, 1979, they couldn't make up their minds. At exactly 8:50 a.m., NORAD's radar screens were lit up by hundreds of specks streaming across the North Pole.
I show incoming missiles from all over the USSR.
NORAD's duty officer had just 3 minutes to confirm that what he saw was what he thought it was, an all-out Soviet attack.
We have a situation here. Where's that confirmation?
His staff anxiously dialed their radar sites. They hadn't detected any missiles.
Clear can't verify, sir.
As seconds ticked by, the Pentagon's Deputy Director of Operations demanded a report.
I don't know,
And he finally said, if somebody can't explain this to me in 30 seconds, I'm going to convene a missile attack conference.
Sir, I still show incoming missiles from all over.
No one could explain it.
No confirmation from anybody yet.
At Andrews Air Force Base near Washington, D.C., the President's command post for waging nuclear war taxied to the runway. Across the country, B-52 bombers loaded with nuclear weapons prepared for takeoff. Fighters were already scrambling to intercept enemy bombers. It seemed World War III had begun. Hidden deep in Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado Springs lies the world's greatest computer system. Its job is to detect incoming missiles and give the president enough warning time to launch a counterattack. This strategy is called launch on warning.
Launch on warning requires assessment of an incoming missile attack 3 or 4 minutes after the attack begins. Requires anywhere from 4 or 5 minutes to perhaps as much as 10 minutes for a presidential decision, and then requires another 5 minutes to retaliate. It's really a very, very tightly scripted operation that allows absolutely no room for mistake, allows very little time for rational thought.
This is no way to go to war. This has surrendered political choice to the machinery.
That day in Colorado, mankind's fate rested with a machine.
We need confirmation.
One by one, radar stations reported to NORAD. None detected incoming missiles.
What's going on?
The most sophisticated computer system in the world had sent a false alarm. The Pentagon canceled the alert. The president's command post returned to its hangar. The man now in charge of America's nukes, Jimmy Carter, wasn't even notified. If he had been, he would have had just 5 minutes to decide whether to push the button. The Air Force hurried to bury its mistake.
The hotline at my desk to the command center rang, and I picked it up, and it was the command director who said, we just had this little event happen, and but it's over now, and everything's taken care of, and don't worry about it. And I said, okay, thank you very much, and hung up.
We show incoming missiles.
Bruce Brown did worry. He sensed there was more to it than he'd been told. There was. NORAD was about to train radar operators how to detect missile attacks. But no one could get the training tape to work.
So they called back down to the headquarters and said, we can't make it run. And somebody said, go get the J tape and see if that'll run.
The J tape simulated an all-out nuclear attack on the United States. Worse, the computer reported that this was the real thing. When the Pentagon learned that Armageddon was almost started by a training tape, it tried to suppress the snafu. But when it went on alert, the Pentagon had notified key airports to get ready to clear the skies. At Dulles Airport, a reporter just happened to be in the control tower and overheard everything. Next, the Pentagon blamed the guy who inserted the training tape, but he was just a scapegoat.
The crew should have detected that it was not real. Any attack of that magnitude surely would have been detected by the ground site controlling the satellite that was sending the warning messages. Like it or not, there are some of us who, no matter how much we train, when faced with the real event, will just freeze.
Imagine if you were in the hot seat at NORAD, and really this was your only job for the rest of your life, and it could only happen one time, and that's that if the enemy launched a sudden attack, you have 3 or 4 minutes to find out what's going on and to notify the president and brief the president when he comes on the line of what you know about that attack. And oh, by the way, don't make any mistakes.
NORAD quickly moved its training to a separate location. The damage to America's credibility took longer to repair.